What's going on, everybody? Welcome to Dylan Talks Tone, and welcome to our Thursday night Q&A hangout time with everybody. It's great to see you. Hopefully you are staying warm because it's cold here. We have like a big ice storm apparently coming tomorrow, and it's going to be super gnarly. But anyway, for now, we're awesome, and things are good. Hopefully you are having a good week as well. As always, these are ad-free live streams, so you can do a couple things to support us in this endeavor, and one is use a super chat this evening to ask a question or just for fun. And you can also use some of the links in the description. Those are companies that support the channel in various ways through affiliate links and etc. And so yeah. That's the thing. And then also, you can go to DylanTalksTone.com and buy pickups. That's the other thing. And we're going through the first 5 minutes of the show, which lately has been waiting for the dog to calm down. That's kind of what we're doing right now. The other thing that I want to talk about in relation to Dylan Talks Tone is... you all kind of gave me the idea, and I got the idea from some other businesses, not guitar stuff, to do a mystery box. And I've been working on this for like the last month. And so you all have given me various ideas and suggestions, and Patreon folks have been contributing ideas. And it's all been pretty awesome. And so they came out today and we released it early. We told everybody on Patreon I was going to release 10 of them. Those are already sold out, so we upped it to 20. So I think as of right now, there are 10 left. So you can get a mystery box. They're $65 or $70. I can't remember. There's $100 worth of stuff in there, which is pretty neat. There are 6 items in there. One of those items is going to be every time. We're going to do this quarterly, I think. And every time we do one, we're going to do one item that is unique only to that box. So it will never be on the website. It will never be in another box again. It will only be in this box. So that's a thing that's going to be cool. And then the other thing is, it's all guitar-related stuff. Well, more or less guitar-related stuff. Some stuff is actually from other companies. Now, I did purchase this. They did not like give it to me for free, but there's some stuff from other companies that I want you to try. I'd like you to give them a shot. So we're putting that in there. There's some merch and stuff.
Got a super chat from Charles Wallace. He says, ad free.
Thank you, Charles. Yeah, and so it's going to be kind of cool. It's on the front page of the website, and there's also a link in the description. So just make sure that you get over there and get them, because it's kind of a limited thing. I was only going to do 10, but they sold out so fast. I was like, well, we got to do 20. So I kind of want to control the inventory based on interest. I don't want to just say we're going to sell these things for a month. Like, I want to control it because I want it to be special. I want you guys to really dig it. And then we'll do another one in April, I guess.
Super chat from Dastardly Dave. He says, ad free is nice.
I agree.
Thanks, Dave and Charles. I don't think I said thank you.
Yeah. So that's what kind of the major stuff that we've got going news-wise before we start getting into our Patreon questions. And the first one is kind of the topic for our conversation this evening. So I wanted to ask that, and then we'll kind of open it up as we go, as we normally do.
All right. Matt. Good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Would you say that your favorite guitar in your collection is your most played guitar? For me, it is not, but it is always a treat to me when I play it.
I would say that my favorite guitar is probably now I know I just did that like top 5 thing, and I tried to really keep it relevant to the channel. That's kind of one of those things. But like house burning down, grabbing one guitar, well, I'd have to grab 2. One would be my Strat that I had since I was 13, and that I don't ever play that. It's not my favorite though, but that I would never play it. I would never get rid of that. But it would have to be my D28. I think, and I know that's weird because we are an electric guitar channel, but that is the thing for me. Is my D28. Here we go, squeaky toy. Yeah, that would be the one, I think. So I don't play, and honestly, I don't play my favorite guitars the most, I think, because I'm trying to branch out and not be in a rut with that. Jeez. Talk about overshooting the situation.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, so yeah, I would say that. So what is your favorite guitar? Do you play your favorite guitar the most? Do you even own your favorite guitar? That's another thing. Because for a long time, I didn't even own it. So, and even my new custom shop Gibson is one of my favorite guitars of all time. I don't play it very often. I don't play it as often as I should, probably.
So some folks has already shared stuff. You want to hear?
Yeah, let's do it.
I don't know what all these letters and things mean.
Okay.
Tim says yes. Schecter C-1+.
Okay.
Worst name in the history of guitars. My favorite of my 25 guitars.
Oh, wow.
BC Rich 581 said, I play my favorite instruments regularly, save for my only decent acoustic, which I really should play more, although bass, electric guitar, I do play my favorites.
Yeah, makes sense.
Stan likes single coils, says all 3 of my guitars are my favorites. I'm not discriminating. My work is killing me, so right now I miss them.
So you're stuck not playing your favorite guitars, which are all of them.
Hogman Hawk says, I do play my favorite guitar, just favorite changes from day to day, and sometimes it's in the store waiting for me to save some money or move on and decide it's not my favorite anymore. LOL.
I get that.
T. Jose says, my faves are my oldest guitar followed by whichever is the newest guitar.
Makes sense.
Makes
Yeah, that makes sense.
Phil Grochel said, I got rid of the guitars that were not my favorites. I had 2 Alvarez guitars that needed work, a dread and a baritone. One needed a neck reset, the other needed a bridge. I took them to the dump and gave them away. A guy was happy to get them. I said, Merry Christmas.
Weren't we talking to, was it Zoltan last week or the week before, who was like, I'm going to get rid of all the guitars that don't really mean anything to me and focus on.
Yep.
Yeah, I get that.
And when you were telling your story, I'm assuming T. Jose said, same with the telly I got at 16. Oh, sorry.
That's okay. I just noticed it.
Where is it? It's not on my screen, is it?
It is not on your screen. It's on the screen behind the screen. Sorry.
I'm like, I didn't do that. I don't even remember reading that.
No, that was my bad.
Tom F says, my favorite right now is my Hex 6. So yeah, I play it. Honky Tonkinson. That's great.
I haven't heard that name before. So
Honky
if this is your first time commenting, welcome.
Says, I don't know which is my favorite.
I feel that too.
I'm sure a lot more came in. You want to keep going?
Yeah, let's keep going just for a few more.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, you should leave the Strat and go for the one you made for your grandpa.
Nope, still would go for my first one.
Vox Guitars Rock says, my mom's old Framus Dreadnought acoustic would be the one house burning down guitar.
I heard that. I was trying to stay away from the house burning down thing because stuff going on in California right now. I feel for those people, but yeah, I get the sentiment.
Giovanni Carvalho says, I've got 3 high-end, wait, did I read that? I've got 3 high-end Solars, 1 limited mid guitar, and an RG321MH, cheap one. I'm saving an RG321. I've got an emotional connection. I've had it almost 20 years.
There is something to that, because my first guitar is not an expensive guitar either, but it's worth everything to me because it's what got me here, you know?
BC Rich 581 said, my favorite bass is being built in the UK now, and it's a year overdue.
Oh, wow.
David Girala said, I've been playing my favorite guitar less lately. I restrung my 8-string yesterday and set up my bass today. It's been nice. Matthew Altamir says, my Gibson Les Paul is my fave, but in our extreme dry or wet seasons, I store it in the case. So I usually just grab my others more often to play.
So that's what happens with my Martin, because my Martin is one of the few guitars that is in the case all the time unless I'm playing it.
Marcia Murray says, I only own my favorites. So yes, I play them. Jay Valente said, being a newer player, my favorite guitar is the one that is not fighting my old stubby fingers. Dastardly Dave said, my favorites are either made by me or made by my friends. They get played.
I love that.
Dog Dr. Tim, I'm not sure what my favorite guitar is. I really like my acoustic and it sounds good.
Yep.
I need to.
And I have 4 acoustic guitars that would all vie for my favorite acoustic guitars because I love them all for different reasons.
Super chat from Lithium Man. Thanks for the super chat.
Thank you, sir.
I got a red ES345 a week or 2 ago. No quality control issues, no veritone, which is a bummer, and an immaculate smell. Also got a EVH Wolfgang USA that's having some work done to it, so I can't play it right now.
But a new 335, I don't even know if it's new. Well, he said quality control, so it's probably new. That's really cool, man. Not everybody goes for those, so that's kind of neat.
Robot Shlomo. My Les Paul Standard is my favorite, but unfortunately, I haven't played that in a while. The tuning machines are giving out on it, and I need to have a new set installed.
Mm-hmm.
Tom says, my favorite changes every week. This week, I'm into my SG.
This week, it's been my Silver Sky. I've been playing my Silver Sky this week.
Dom D says, out of all the high-end guitars I have, my fave is still my old Fender made in Mexico because probably because I played it for so many years. These days, I play a different guitar every day just to cycle through them.
Comfort with an instrument is definitely a thing, for sure.
Bill, cheap 08 Les Paul Studio and HIM Telly are my faves, and I play them daily. New Les Paul Standard is a dog that lives in the case.
Interesting. I've been doing a bunch of I kind of got my home theater set up a little bit better finally, and so I've been using it more, and I've been listening to more music too. So I've got it all set up for audio as well. I've been listening to more music, and so depending on what artist I'm on a kick, that's the guitar that so a lot of times I'll have it on in the background and I'll play, sitting on the couch. So this week it's been Big Head Todd and the Monsters. So I've been playing Strats. But since I always play Strats, that's why I got my PRS out. Cause I was like, I haven't played this in a while and I'm on a Big Head Todd and the Monsters kick. So pink PRS it is for me.
All right, a few more. Gotta find where I left off. Bad Joke Gaming. My favorite is my Squier Sonic Strat. It was my first and the one I have heavily modified and set up myself. I learned it all on it. I think that's why I'm connected to it.
I love that. That's so cool.
Charles Wallace says, I play my favorite all the time. It has your name on it, and it's still just as amazing as the first time I
That
played
is
it.
a cool guitar. Yeah, he's got one of my Strats.
John Gonzalez says, I have 19. My favorite need new frets. It's a Heyman 3030 that I bought in 1978.
Oh, wow.
P.S. Looking for a junior to make an even 20.
Yep. Got to have a junior.
Christopher Valdez, my gold top Les Paul Classic with P90s. Robert Hastings, he's not at rehearsal. I do play my favorite. It's my 87 Strat that my wife bought me for a birthday. Very special.
That's cool. Yeah.
Guitar Doc 71 D. Kakora Jr. Love my Gretsch Rancher, and now I have a 12-string Rogue. I think they're all that I really need.
I love that.
Curtis Chavez,
Gretsch.
my Gibson ES 125 is my favorite guitar. I play it all the time. Currently, I string it with 12-gauge flat wounds because I use it to play extended piano-style chord melodies.
Oh, that's neat. I used to have a 53 ES 125, and it was really cool.
All right.
Yeah, this is awesome. I love the fact that everybody has a reason for what they play, no matter the cost of the guitar, no matter...
HIM is HO in Mexico.
Oh. Made in Mexico.
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's what they said.
No, I love that. I love the fact that everybody has a reason. You know, the dude with the Sonic Strat, that's a $200 guitar. It doesn't matter. And I think that's really cool is building connection with the instruments. I mean, there was price ranges all over the place. There was ownership time all over the place. There was somebody who said they didn't even have the guitar yet because they're waiting on it. Like, I think that's really cool. I think it's just fun to hear. Sometimes when people in the Patreon ask these questions, I'm really stoked that we get to talk about them because it tells all of us a lot about the community. I think we talked about this on Tuesday a little bit, where people have, based on what they see in a comment section, they think that that's what the world is really like. But when you really sit around and talk about it, there's a lot more to it. And it's a lot different result. And so I love these conversations. Hey, buddy.
Oh, Robert Hastings said, Leslie, thanks for noticing. We're iced in tonight.
Ooh,
So we
man.
couldn't make it to rehearsal.
Yeah, we're worried about that for tomorrow night. That's going to be the deal. Zeba, can you please go lay down?
All right, you want to do another?
Let's do another
Patreon?
Patreon question. Yeah, because that was only the first one.
Zoltan. Hey, Zelen, which winding machine or machines are you currently using? Can we expect an X months in review of the Spanish gear?
You can. In fact, we're in the process right now of... So I'm going to do a whole video about this, but just to kind of fill you in, it's really interesting how those work. I have two of the ones from Spain. I still do use the Mojo Tone one because it's easier for like bass pickups and stuff. So we still use that a lot. I use the manual tone winder a bunch as well. More because of output, because when you're busy and you got to have a couple winders going at the same time. The CNC winder gets a lot of use. The other day, I had a failure on one of the drivers in it. So it's got a stepper motor, CNC stepper motor basically in there. And one of the drivers failed. And so I'm going to do a whole video about it because it sounds terrible, but it was actually really cool because I got on a FaceTime call with the owner of the company in Spain, and he worked me through the issues. And apparently there's an upgrade kit that the newer ones are getting that it's going to make it quieter and more efficient and a whole bunch of other stuff. And so he's having those, instead of replacing the old drivers and just fixing a bad problem. He's sending me the upgrade stuff. And so we're going to be able to do a video on I want to talk about customer service. This company is really, really cool. They are also available if you buy it direct and you use Dylan in the discount code thing. That helps out the channel, but you can also get them at Philadelphia Lutherie too. So they're really, really kind of coming on. It's pretty cool. And so yeah, we'll be doing another video coming up. In fact, I was just talking to Felix about that too, like what kind of content we want to see. So I'm using all of them, but majority I'm using the Tone Winder stuff from Spain, and it's very good.
Tom, just saying happy Thursday and waiting on the box.
Yeah, because people on Patreon got to see that first. And so a bunch of people on Patreon bought the box before everybody else. Yeah, so it's pretty cool.
Robert, I've noted over the years that you are pretty good at marketing. I like it.
Thanks, Robert. I try. That's a whole thing that you have to... You can make pickups, but you got to be able to tell people about them too. And it is definitely a challenge to balance it all.
Super chat from Alexander Nuki. Sorry if I said that wrong. Thank you for the super chat. Fender CS51 Nocaster, but still need to buy Les Paul Jr. or Broadcaster because of Dylan.
Yes, single pickup guitar. That's what he's saying there, and I love that. That's super cool. And thank you for the super chat, Alexander. I'm not sure if we've seen your name in this super chat before. If I have, sorry for missing you. But is he just laying right there chewing on something? Yeah.
All right.
He spent most of the day, even when I was in the office, just right there on the edge of the carpet.
That's where he's at.
Yeah,
he's got a pile of goodies
toys
there.
and bones and stuff. Yep. The puppy apparently, according to Leslie's research, is like hitting puberty, and so he's
not my research. They email it right in our inbox.
Oh, okay. So anyway, he's like figuring out his little independence a little bit, and you can tell he's growing up, but he's still hilarious.
Charles, good evening. Leslie and Dylan, thank you for sharing your evening with us.
Thank you.
Yep. Thanks, Charles.
That's all of the Patreon and YouTube member questions. If you have guitar questions, put them in the chat and we can talk about them. Or you can use a super chat and we'll drop what we're doing and we'll answer that question right away.
Yep. There's some stuff over there.
Excellent. Let's do it.
I don't know where the two part is, but
okay.
Giovanni Carvalho. Oh, that's off topic. Just kidding. BC Rich 581 said just bought a mystery box.
Oh, cool. We will have off-topic questions coming at 9:00. So if you have off-topic questions, put them over there and she'll save them for after 9:00.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, more than playing them, I wonder, how do you deal with redundant guitars, like multiple two humbucker guitars or like the juniors you have now?
So I am obviously, because you know of my other hobbies as well, a bit of a collector. And for me, they aren't the same. So if something's truly redundant, then I probably won't do it because I won't use it as much. But if it's actually different, then I want to feel the difference and understand the difference. Whether that be a pocket knife, a fountain pen, a guitar, anything, I want to know the difference. So it might look the same, but it's not actually the same, and I want to understand that. For two reasons. One, because I'm an exploratory brained person. I just want to know. And two, because it better educates me for making what we make. Having a Les Paul Jr. custom shop and then having a Gibson SG Junior that's not a custom shop guitar. They're two completely different animals. They play completely differently. They sound really similar, but they play completely differently. They make you want to play the guitar differently. Double humbucker guitars, for me, that's very easy because I'm just going to put different pickups in them. So like all of my double humbucker guitars have different stuff in them. One's got DAFs in it. The other one's got center punches in it. There's another one that's got the stock Gibson pickups in it. I've got something else with Thruxtons in it. So I really try to make sure that we have a variety of stuff so that I'm ready to make content and ready to, but I talk about this a lot on Tuesday. People are like, this guitar is just as good as that one. This one's the same as that one. And they're the same if you don't understand the difference, but that doesn't mean that there isn't a difference. So as you continue to learn, you're going to be able to see smaller nuances, smaller details, and understand the differences between the things. And if you don't now, that's not a fault. It's just a matter of exploring and understanding. And so, I want to know all those little differences and feel them all. And I can very quickly and easily articulate the differences between the stuff to anybody if they're to ask me,
Who asked you?
Who asked you?
Something popped up right when I was okay. Back to the top.
And he's asleep.
Vox Guitars Rock says, should I top wrap my Les Paul or not? Thoughts?
I don't think so. I think you just
keep doing that shimmery thing. Like it keeps like.
I think you just raise your tailpiece to get the breakover angle correct. It's not going to kill your sustain. That's a stupid myth that everybody makes up. And make sure that so that it's not hitting the back of the saddle, the back of the bridge. And I don't, and you can get the same kind of breakover angle friction benefit by just raising your tailpiece. That's what it's designed for. I don't know if you noticed, but Gibson put it on adjustable screws to be adjusted. That's what it's for. And so just do that. The threads will still be making the same amount of contact to the nut inserts, whether the bridge is all the way down or up a half an inch. The threads will still be making the same amount of contact. The thread count and the thread pitch will still be exactly the same. And so there will be no less or more sustain because the bolt is the same here or here. The end.
Dog Dr. Tim, is an 8-string a 6-string with the lower 2 strings of a bass on top?
So a 7-string is a low B. Is an 8-string, does it add an A on above the E? I don't know. I've actually never played an 8-string before.
Giovanni Carvalho said, last I was here, I asked what to say to people swearing by Tonewood, and I did what the chat told me and said, if you believe that, then whatever makes you happy, man, and moved on. It was so healthy. Thanks.
Isn't it? Yeah, if you guys want that box, you better friggin' jump on it because those things are going away. Looks like there's only like 6 left.
Steve Rezer said, Dylan, check out the Y store. You might like the songs Lack of Water and When You're High. That must be a band name, the Y store.
I'll check it out.
YWHY. And then some folks squeezed in some more comments too, and I just grabbed them. So Sean McMillan said, I try to cycle through my guitars. I tend to play my Gibson Nighthawk the most. It's so comfortable. I'm playing my SG with Thruxtons.
He's got a lot of neat stuff. He's got a lot of neat stuff. He's got one of my Strats too.
Dom D says, I've been searching for my birth year guitar, 1978, and it's tough finding one in halfway decent condition that isn't ridiculously priced.
Yeah, and really modded. I feel like everybody kind of hacked those up.
So that turned into a little mini conversation, and T. Jose said, Dom D, same, but my birth year is 1984. I feel like it's a low point for a lot of brands.
It's not, though. So my brain jumping immediately to 1984, get a Japanese Stratocaster. Get a Japanese E-code Stratocaster. I have an 85, and it is amazing. It's one of the best Strats I've ever had. It's incredible, and they're not expensive. And they made them from 83 to 80, 84 to 87 or 83 to something right in there. Japanese E-code Strat. They're really, really cool, and they're real good.
All right, I am catching up because we got behind.
They're hard to find, though.
Then we got people, the last few comments. Dried Musical X. 84 Kramer was great. Doc Siltonen said 1984 Explorer.
Yeah. Yep.
All right, let's pop back over.
I'd buy any Gibson from then. I know a lot of people wouldn't, but I would.
Michael Curtis, Dylan, I liked your videos on the Squier Stratasonic a couple of years ago. What did you think of the Nashville Strat in that lineup? On topic, because it's one of my favorites.
I would do it. I would totally do it. Those were great guitars. All of them. Yeah, they were great. That was the only reason I chose that is because, me and P90s. That's the only reason I bought that one instead. But I would have bought any of those guitars. I thought they were excellent.
Oh, birth year thing again. BC Rich 581 said, I think anyone that wants to buy a birth year guitar who's over 40 will have to pay way too much for anything in good condition.
Yeah, that's the problem, man. Yeah.
Auntie Warren, what's the best guitar neck shape in your opinion?
I just go to a Slim C. And the reason I do is because it's just, what does Mike Madison say? Cromulent. It's just good. It's like middle of the road, works, easy, perfectly acceptable to everybody, to most people. So that's why I like it. I think I don't care. I mean, I'll play any neck shape. Doesn't matter to me. The only neck shape I don't really like is like whatever the V is on like a well, there's two. I don't really like the V that's on like an Eric Clapton Strat. Now the V to C that's on like a 50 Strat is cool, but the V that's on a Clapton Strat I don't like, and the U that's on a Blackguard Telly I don't really like, but I would still play them. It's not that I wouldn't play them. So I don't really care. I have lots of different neck profiles. But a Slim C is probably, Slim or Modern C is probably my favorite.
Ala Dolphson, just an old guy, said, my birth year is 1950. Birth guitar, forget about it.
I mean, you could still find stuff that's neat. Like, there's a lot of neat old Gibsons of that time that aren't that expensive. So, like, mine was a 53, but like ES 135, 125, 175, they're not ridiculously expensive. They're not cheap, but they're not ridiculously expensive. There's a lot of Japanese stuff and Italian stuff that's neat too. Like, unique too.
Dog Dr. Tim said, what pedal is used to get that snorty and the chimey sound when I hear players get from their guitars?
I don't know.
Snorty and chimey.
Yeah, I would have to have like a song.
Reference.
Yeah, like if you could be like, yeah, you know the solo in X or Y song, and I knew it, which chances are some of us will.
That would help.
Yeah, that would help.
Joe says Martin CSD 21 2011 Matty Addy is my dream guitar, which I play for some years. Cheers from Berlin, Germany.
Oh wow, that's really cool, man.
Curtis Chavez, is there a way to ensure that replacement volume and tone pots will have maximum useful response throughout their travel?
Yeah, just get quality ones and volume. Did he say volume and tone?
Mm-hmm. I think so.
Yeah, just make sure you get quality ones. Like the ones we sell are within 10%, right? So if you buy cheap ones off of Amazon, the tolerances can kind of be all over the place, and the quality of the carbon tracks can be a little bit iffy. So then you'll end up having, funky things throughout the taper. But if you buy a quality CTS or a quality Bourne's pot that is within, 10% tolerance, you'll be fine.
Vox Guitars Rock says, I used to be my $200 guitar is as good guy. My wife bought me a Gibson Les Paul Tribute. Man, was I wrong. Where has this guitar been all my life?
Yeah, so they don't make those anymore. And that guitar, I had one of those too. And that thing was really nice. They have maple necks, right? That was a really good guitar. And now, to me, taking inflation into it, because they haven't made those for a few years, and what's available now, I think the new hotness right there is this new Les Paul Studio at $1,500, because those were like about 12 or 13, right? So this thing's about 15, this new one, and good grief, it's a good guitar. And I 100% agree that you will play that and be like, never mind, I'm not going to complain about this anymore.
I guess something you were talking about. So Dastardly Dave said wizard neck.
I don't like wizards. They're too thin and too wide and flat.
BC Rich 581 said wizard necks feel really uncomfortable to me.
Yeah, they have a weird flat spot on the back, and they also are typically they're like a 14 or a 16 inch radius, because they're like speedy necks, and I'm not a speedy guy, so I don't really like them.
Dog Dr. Tim said, ooh, exploratory brained sounds so much better than nosy. I guess sometimes I'm just nosy or curious.
I just want to know things. Like, not to say I know them, but I'm genuinely curious. Like, I'm going to be like, what's under that rock? Probably nothing. I still want to know, though. Like, I just do.
Gary Simmons, my PRS core randomly hums badly when touching the bridge humbucker cover. Shipped to PRS twice and they can't fix it. It seems that moving the 5-way switch makes it stop and be normal again.
Mine does the same thing. I have a PRS Fiore, which is a single hum. And it is a core guitar, so it's not a cheap one. And it does exactly the same thing. Freaking drives me nuts. And then what I can't figure out is why they wouldn't. What I think it is it the cover's not grounded the same way I ground stuff. So, yeah, that's what I think it is. Because if your guitar has phase switching or coil splitting or anything, then chances are it's got like a 4-wire pickup in it. And maybe the cover's not grounded separately. So when we make ours, it's 4-wire, but we have the wire that we use when we build pickups is 4 wires plus a drain line, which is like a braid. And the braid we solder to the cover. So then it's separate completely from the signal, but it gets grounded so that it doesn't do that. And my PRS with the humbucker in the bridge position does exactly what yours does. It drives me insane. Yep.
Phil Grochel says, Dylan, if you were to create a complete line of guitars to cover all the sound possibilities, what guitars would you include in that collection?
A complete line to cover all the so, well, I think everybody needs to have 5. So I would have a single hum Strat. So in my arsenal right now, I would have my PRS Fiore. I would have a really good Strat that's actually a Strat. I would have a Les Paul. I would have a Junior. And some kind of semi-hollow body. And I think I could get everything I ever wanted out of those 5.
Robert Hastings said, my P90 showed me how different, maybe you mean sounds pickups can make. I'm still exploring them.
Who is that?
Robert Hastings.
Oh, yeah, he's got ours. Yep.
Doc Siltonen said, happy Thursday. Thread pitch could end up being the next tone wood. More pitch equals more tone, bro.
Well, okay, so you could totally dive into that. I mean, I have done this research because people freaking go nuts about this. So there's a couple of ways you can do it. You can have a much higher thread count that is going to give you a certain kind of contact between the threads. I tell you who would know more about this than me is Dastardly Dave, because he's a machinist. You could also have something with much deeper and coarser threads like what the Gibson has, and it would still make contact just differently. So it's not, and I think that's what people don't realize. When you tighten, and this is something that people don't understand, when you tighten the stop bar down on a Les Paul, you're not tightening into wood. All you're doing is you're binding the threads against each other from the bolt to the insert. Well, it's no different than if it's screwed higher up and has tension on it from the strings. You're just binding the two threads together. So it's not actually, because people think, well, I'm screwing it down and it's going into the wood, so it's more solid and totally sustained, bro. And it's not like that. Because all you're doing, there's a collar on that. It's like there's a top plate, and then there's like a, it looks like a little H, and then the thing slides in, and then there's another collar on the bottom. And that collar, when you screw it down, and if you take the bolt out and look at it, there's like a little, at the top of the threads, they're not super precision. It's just thread bind. That's all it is. There's no screwing into the wood and making more sustain, bro. It's literally just thread bind, which thread bind doesn't change if the bolt is up versus whether it's up or down. It's a dumb thing. It's a dumb thing. Don't get me started. Well, you already did, but.
Doc Siltonen said, spent the last bit playing my Firebird. Such a killer build.
Oh, that's cool.
Bryant McGallion says, my favorite guitar is the next one. I might have a problem.
Yep. I might be able to help you with that.
F. Stathio says, I didn't know that the Music Man Stingray was released in 1976, my birth year, so I got curious. My first attempt looking for one discouraged me. They seem to go for $16K plus.
Dude, it's nuts what those things go for.
T-Bone, good evening, Dylan and Leslie. Dylan, what is your favorite amp, and do you have a solid state in the stable?
My favorite amp is, well, in 2025 is a Kemper. But my favorite amp would be like a black panel Princeton. That would be my favorite amp. which I do not have. So parsing out solid state a little bit. A lot of folks will squish together solid state when they shouldn't. Okay, so we're going to parse this out. Solid state is like class AB push-pull transistors. Okay, and I do have one of those. I have a PV Studio Pro 40, which is the same amp that I had when I was a kid. I went and found one on Reverb and bought it. I also have a modeling amp, which is not a solid state amp. It's different. And I have a Princeton Tone Master. And then I also have a Kemper, which is a modeling device that doesn't actually have an amp in it. So you have to have an external amp. That's a Kemper. And then I have some Tone X stuff too. So to just kind of be specific about that, yeah, I have one solid state amp, but I have some digital modeling amps as well.
Robot Shlomo says, for some strange reason, I've been wanting to get a Soviet-made guitar. They're supposed to be terrible, but it's the uniqueness of it that's appealing.
I didn't know there was such a thing until this many days old. If you could email me or show me a picture, or over in our Facebook group, the Dylan Talks Town Facebook group on Instagram, on Facebook, if you could go over there and show me what a Soviet guitar looks like and what the brands are, I will buy one right now. I want one. I don't even care.
You didn't even know it existed.
Nope. Didn't even know it existed. I want one. Yeah. I like Cold War stuff. So for those of you that follow the channel, off topic and stuff, I like Cold War things. So I'm interested.
Super chat from Kyle Ketchamonia. Thanks for the super chat, Kyle. He says, I got my P90 and DAF installed. Love them both.
Awesome. That's cool, Kyle. Now we did a custom cover because he's got Native Heritage, and he sent me
I didn't see it.
Yeah, he sent me that graphic.
Yeah, I don't think I saw it when it was
based on his Native Heritage, and we engraved it into the top of a pickup for him, and it came out really, really cool. You know who could probably help us out with the Cold War Soviet guitar is probably Dawn, because Dawn has helped me in the past with Russian and Soviet history.
He seems to know a lot of things.
Yes. But especially
trivia and otherwise,
especially Russian and Soviet historical stuff. He's helped me like read inscriptions. I got a fountain pen with some inscriptions on it that he read for me and stuff. So yeah, he might be able to help us with that.
Jose Daniels of More Peace said, Dylan sounds like me as a child that after like an hour would tear up his toys to see how they work.
Oh, dude, everything came apart.
Still does.
Still does. Lithium Man. I love that name.
Super chat from Lithium Man. Thank you for the super chat. He says, I got a white Les Paul custom on the way, and now I'm going to want an ES330 afterward. I also want to get my friend an EB Music Man Axis since he got me into Van Halen. I have a problem as well.
That's really cool. And that's a very kind thing to do. That's really neat. Lithium Man, if you want to get a gift for your friend who's really into Van Halen, one of the other things we can do is if you order pickups from me, humbuckers from me, we can put the EVH Frankenstein pattern onto the covers. We've done that for a few people now, and it's really cool. It comes out really, really good with the laser. It comes out really good. So that might be a gift idea as well.
Cool. I think we're caught up.
Okay.
We have like 10 minutes left, so
awesome.
Assuming some more things will roll in. If I missed anything, send it again. Let's see.
Yeah, I want to. I'm trying to figure out a way to refine the process for like people that want to get cool lasery stuff because it's so fun to do. I mean, it costs a little extra because it's time, right? But I like to do it, and it's just neat. And to tell you the honest truth, the percentage of pickups that come out of here anymore that are just plain is pretty low. Like the majority of what we're doing, people are like really digging the imagination. Like, oh, I want paisley on this, or I want, we just sent out a set of leopard print P90s yesterday. It's like so cool. So I just ordered. So what I've been doing is I've been just buying a bunch of laser files of different patterns. So yesterday or day before yesterday, I got all the animal print stuff. So tiger, cow, leopard, zebra, like all these various things. And I'm like, so now we can do some really neat stuff. We were, so that guitar is going to California with us to that show. And I was like, dude, what if Satchel came by? That's totally a Satchel guitar because it's going to be a leopard print fabric top guitar with those pickups in it. It's going to be super neat. So
They're still touring. Yeah.
Yep.
Satchel needs that guitar.
Satchel needs that guitar. It would be cool.
Couldn't tell anybody though.
I mean, I'd tell everybody. I think that'd be awesome.
That's so funny.
Heck yeah.
All right. No, nothing. Dom D said, when I order the pickups for my S2 594, I'm definitely going to have you do some custom engraving.
Yeah, it's fun.
FU, I still love that name. EHFYOO. Finally figured out what pickup set I'm going to order from you when I get my guitar.
Cool. What is it? I want to know.
Chris Anderson says, can you post more of these pickup designs once done to Instagram? They sound amazing, and I love seeing what you've posted.
I can, yeah. I've actually been trying to do that every day as we get stuff done, and I'm trying to do that more. Part of the problem is it's expensive to pre-do it. So like, I was just going over parts costs today, and those parts, so nickel parts especially, are getting very expensive. So probably double in price over the last couple of years, pickup covers, for example. So I used to be able to pretty economically be able to buy like 20 humbucker pickup covers and then just go out there and experiment and do a bunch of neat stuff. And that's what we were doing when we first got the laser. But now I'm kind of being a little more judicious about how many pickups I burn up on the laser. Because if nobody wants the design, then it just sits there.
Isn't that what you bought those cards for?
I did, but it doesn't translate exactly. I understand why he wants to see them completed. But maybe I will tomorrow. I'll go out there and we'll. So what I did is I bought a bunch of aluminum business cards. And it gives you a pretty good idea of what the patterns will look like, except they're not shiny. So
can you get shiny ones?
We might be able to. Might be able to look into that. Yeah, I don't know. Or some shiny material that would at least give me a cheaper way to profile it so that people could see it. But the business cards are cheap. And so even if somebody sends me design, like when we did Kyle's, for example, he's like, it was very inexpensive for me on those aluminum business cards to be like, do you like this design or do you like this design better? And then he picked one and then we were able to do it. And it wasn't expensive to do. And it only added like, I don't remember, $20 or $30 to the pickup to have that thing that he really, really wanted. So yeah, it's super fun. And it makes it to where I feel like I love being... It's cool to have like a teamwork creative process for somebody. Like you and I worked together to make this thing that now you're putting in your guitar and now it's actually special. It's still Dylan pickups. It's still the same P90. It's still the same like that you buy from us all the time. But for some reason to me anyway, there's just something special where we like worked together and made something cool. I really think that's fun.
All right. Dog Dr. Tim said, anything else you can say about the $34.99?
If you're on Patreon, there's a lot you can see. And that's all I'm going to say. If you're on Patreon, go in the chat on Patreon and you'll see some things that I posted over there today. And all I will tell you is you better jump on them. That's all I'm saying. And there's no formal way right now to jump on them. You just got to get with me and we'll make it happen.
Super chat from Lithium Man. Thank you for the super chat. He said, which of your humbuckers would be your EVH equivalent?
I would put, so that's all that was for his Frankenstrat. All it was like a PAF. If it was my guitar, I would put our Super 8 in it. It's an Alnico 8 version of our PAF, and it's perfect for that. That's what I would put in it.
All right. We've got a few more minutes. Run through the stuff I have gotten already.
Okay.
Robot Shlomo says, I left info on the Soviet guitars on the Facebook page and a guy doing a demo of one.
Oh, excellent.
Related to that, Doc Siltonen said, I played some guitars made by Ural when I was in St. Petersburg. Not that great, but it was used at a flea market called Gostiny. I don't know how you say a DV.
Ural, like the motorcycle?
It was pretty rough.
Well, I guess it's that happened, right? Like there was a parent company that's part of the system that made all kinds of things. So maybe it was the same company. That's wild.
Jose Daniels Amorapí said, why do you sign backwards? The bridge on the pickups. Mine was good, but once installed, the sign is upside down.
Everybody says that, but I'm going to not ever stop doing it. Basically what I do is I take the pickup and I put it right side up the way I look at it. And I sign it the same way because I don't know where that's going in a guitar. I always sign it.
Same place.
Same place. Bottom right corner.
I've asked him to. He doesn't care.
Nope.
Hank Kimball. I have an Epiphone Les Paul special and would like to try your P90s in it. Suggestions?
There's only one. If you have a P90 in it, put one of our P90s in it. There can only be one Highlander, and that's it.
If Stathio says, I don't mean to trigger anyone, but have you heard about the thousands of knockoff Gibson guitars that were shipped from China? They even write made in USA on them and have a serial number.
I have, and they busted a bunch of them, and it was like a lot of money worth, and it was a big deal. Yeah, a few weeks ago. Yep.
Vox Guitars Rock says, what's the coolest guitar case sticker you've seen? That's a great question.
That's a great question. Sounds to me like people should post their guitar case stickers
in the Facebook group. I want to see them.
I want to see them too.
Doc Stilton has said same as the motorcycle company as far as he knows.
That would make sense, right? In that USSR situation, I guess it's socialist republic. I don't know if you call it communism, socialism, but in that particular situation, but Ural would be a company that would make a bunch of different stuff. I've ridden a Ural motorcycle before, and it's crazy. They're like the crude version of a BMW. It's like a knockoff. It's like a Russian knockoff of a BMW, and they are wild.
All right.
We used to call them urinals.
Wow. Vinny's World said that's how PRS does it too, marking the pickups upside down for the bridge.
Well, and here's why. Because I am a strong proponent of there's no such thing as neck and bridge, right? Everybody says, do I get a neck pickup or do I get a bridge pickup? Yes. Like, it doesn't matter. That's such a naming convention that's been pounded into our heads. It just doesn't matter. The guitar will work. The pickup will work in any position. So if I sell you a bridge pickup and I sign it upside down, and then you're like, wait a minute, I'm working on this other project, and you want to put it in the neck pickup of something else. Now it's upside down and stupid. So that's why I do it the same way. And to me, it's not upside down because they're facing each other. Right? So it screws out and they're facing each other. It's like that's why I do it. And I won't stop. I've had people not buy pickups from me because of that.
Dom D says, speaking of Chibsons, there were only about 1,700 bursts produced by Gibson between 58 to 60. Sadly, only 35,600 remain today.
Exactly. Yeah. No, I know. That's funny.
Oh, man, that's funny. All right. 9 o'clock.
9 o'clock. It is off topic hour. So here's how this works. After 9 o'clock, you can ask any question you want as long as it's off topic. If you ask a guitar question after 9 o'clock, it has to be in a super chat. If you don't like that, you can come back next week and ask before 9 o'clock. That's how we do it.
His nose is cold.
He's got it like all snuffed up in his ear, in his little paw. We do that just to hang out and get to know you and off-topic questions and just get to know each other and be friends. The best we can, at least, through the internets. So let's do it. You've got some already, right?
Yeah, a few things.
Cool.
Jose Daniel Zamora P said, is it too early to talk about Leslie's bangs? Did she win a bet last week or something? Probably because we ended and I was like, nobody said anything till we were getting off. There was no bet though.
No. We were just, she was just like, I wonder when people are going to notice.
And I'm sure they did, but the fact that nobody said
anything until the very end. Yeah.
Yeah.
No, you just wanted to try, right? It was just a thing. Yeah.
The people, I mean, and this was like, it's probably a year of conversation.
Right.
And then my hairdresser was finally like, okay, you keep asking, let's try it.
Let's do it. Yeah.
Because the funny thing is, like, there's a joke, like, if you cut, like, do you need therapy? Like, are you okay? So that's when people are like, oh, you have bangs. I was like, yep, I'm okay.
Oh, right.
So. And the biggest compliment being Brianna. She was like, oh, you look like you did when I was little. So I'm going to take that to mean I look younger.
You look younger.
I don't know if that's what she meant, but.
I agree.
Okay. So here was the question.
From earlier.
Giovanni Carvalho said he had a 2-part question off topic.
Okay.
But I only see one question.
Okay.
So I don't know where the 2-part is. Or if I have to ask this and he's still here and then he's going to give me the 2-part. Okay. I don't know. Do you like hot dogs?
No.
That's all I got. That was the question.
Okay. I can't say no. I mean, a good chili dog is good. So I guess yes. I guess the answer is yes. Not going to be my choice, though. I keep checking.
All right. Giovanni Carvalho also said, when my puppy was a teenager, she was a dick. Ha ha ha. I've had 2 wrist injuries because of her playing super rough. She's chill now. Yeah. I mean, our puppy can be super psycho, but we are consistently hearing that he is so chill for his breed.
Yeah. Everybody says that Weimaraners are like very crazy, and he can be, but for the most part, he's exactly what I would hope a dog would be. I think he's awesome.
Honky Tonkinson says, who's dreading the snow tomorrow morning? We hope we shouldn't get snow.
I don't think we'll get snow. We're worried. We are worried about ice, though.
Yeah. So then the bangs conversation, Jose said, I noticed immediately, but you looked great, so I didn't want to make it a whole thing.
That's so funny.
Matthew Altamare has a good rule. He said, my rule is to never compliment another woman for anything unless it's my wife. Good rule. All right. IBJI, IBG.
Mm-hmm.
Been a while since I've seen that. Which YouTuber, besides Trogley, do you think you could take in a cage match? Such a strange question.
Besides Trogley, Maddie Hapoya.
Wow. That's so funny.
Not Casey Neistat.
He can, no.
That
He's
dude's
pretty
ripped.
fit.
Yeah.
I don't know if he sleeps.
I know.
I don't think he sleeps.
Not Cletus McFarlane. Yeah. Probably Maddie Hapoya.
Phil Grochel. So, Leslie, we never seem to ask you much. So, here is a question for you. Do you like to bake? If so, what is your favorite thing to make or enjoy? Or how about cooking? No.
All of the above, no.
No.
Leslie doesn't like doing things around the house, period.
No, I was not made to be a housewife, so that's why I'm not.
Yeah, and neither of us, I think. If we could, I mean, we don't even grocery shop anymore. Like, I don't know. If we could, we have figured out ways to automate almost all chores, so that we could do other things. It's like, how can you spend your life more productively and more fun by spending less time cooking, less time grocery shopping, less time.
And what's really funny,
any of that stuff
is, we could pay somebody to clean the house, right?
Mm-hmm.
But they don't want to if you're here and we are here.
Right. Well, and with the dogs, you got to clean more often than you can afford to have a house cleaner.
Yeah.
Like, you'd have to have somebody come by like every other day.
Right.
So we have a robot vacuum cleaner for the in-between times that you can just run that thing and not think about it. And then we have, but our house is also set up, we complain about it, like, oh, we have to clean. But if me and you go at it, it's done in under an hour. Like most of the stuff,
right?
Try
not to let it get like that.
Yeah.
My method of cleaning is to not feel like I just had to. I'm not like let's get up on Saturday morning and we have to clean the whole house.
Right.
I'd rather
you'd rather just do a little bit here and there and be done. Yeah.
I even made a little schedule. I'm not very good at sticking to the schedule, though.
I meant to ask you about that the other day because I know what I do regularly, but I need to know what other stuff is on that because I'll fill in and do other stuff. Yeah, I don't mind doing the stuff. I just don't want to have to think about it. And it's got to be, I don't know. I don't think that there's all that stuff should disrupt the rest of your life. I just want it to be just done. I just want it to be done. I don't care who does it or when or whatever, any of that stuff. But if we're going to go do something like, well, we have to stay home and clean on, no. Mm-mm. And cooking is the same way. Like, we probably should cook more because it would be cheaper. And I love to cook, actually. I love to cook way more than you like to cook. But
I can cook.
And you can. Yeah, you can cook. We just don't really.
It's not something I get excited about. I did make like a big lasagna for the first time.
Oh, that was so
And it was
good.
really good.
And when we do cook, we'll do that. We ate that for like 5 days. Like, we made a bunch. You made a bunch.
Mm-hmm.
And then like we had chili the other day. I just finished the last of the chili today.
Yep.
So we'll cook very good food but also very good leftover food.
Yeah, because not everything can be left over.
Right. Yeah.
Oh, whoops. Did I miss any more than that? No. Okay. Beast 99 DP2. Hey, Dylan and Leslie. I have 10-ish guitars, but my favorites are my Strat and Ibanez RG series. Tell me why my best sounding guitars sit getting dust.
Probably because you just like playing what you like playing. I mean,
Probably happens to a lot of people.
Yeah. whatever your comfort is a thing, and familiarity and yeah.
And does your favorite guitar have to be the one that's your favorite to play? Or is that a one-to-one maybe? I don't know.
I don't know. I have different guitars that are my favorite for different reasons, for different things. And so,
All right.
What other off-topic-y stuff do we have?
Yep. Curtis Chavez says, who else is really disliking the stupid drop-down list of emojis on the bottom right of YouTube's live stream chat? I never use it, and it covers the newest chat. I wish it was defeatable.
Yeah, I know some people do use them, but
we can't see them if you are because we're on a different
yeah, we
platform.
use a piece of software to do our live streams, so we're not actually in the YouTube window.
John Winnard, my off-topic question, Wilson leather versus Milwaukee leather jackets.
I have owned both, and I prefer neither because I'm kind of picky about that stuff, and they're both sort of, and this is no shade on anybody who has any of this stuff or likes it, but Wilson leather is like and kind of both really, sort of like a closeouty leather place. So I don't really like either of them. I had a Wilson leather for a while. I guess I've had both. Yeah. I've had both. But I don't care for either.
Tom F, this was Bangs again. My wife noticed last week. She says it looks nice. It's always interesting to me to hear when people's wives, I mean, I don't know if it's just on the TV and people see it. Like, I don't watch your YouTube channels that you watch, but I definitely know all the things you watch.
Right. Yeah.
So I don't know if it's that kind of thing or like, are people actually watching?
Less lately now that you got your own TV in your office.
Yeah. I'm out.
Yeah.
Peace out.
So Leslie's office has, it's neat. It's really neat. It's always had a couch in there.
Thank you, Tom's wife.
Like a little sitting area and stuff. But we put I guess it's like a 43-inch television and a Nintendo Switch in there this week. So she can relax and chill and decompress at the end of a work day.
Yeah, it is because I got on the digital art kick again.
Mm-hmm.
But what did I do? I turned it into like, I want to make a piece of art for every day. Why? Like,
yeah.
I don't know why I do all of the, like my brain can't stop.
I'm the same.
And so I can't do that with, it's like those games are so relaxing and so mindless, but you have to focus at the same time that I can't think about anything else.
So I've really been having a hard time, the same thing, like just shutting off at the end of the day and being like, excuse me. Yeah. And being like, and trying to shut my brain down, without trying to think of another video or trying to brainstorm what I'm going to do tomorrow or whatever. And this week has been an insane week. So everything is breaking and everything is, ugh.
So Tom F said she watches the show with him and her name is Linda.
Nice.
Hello, Linda.
Nice. Hello, Linda. That's cool, man. Thank you.
Jose Daniel Zamora P. How is your puppy doing? And also, is his or her name Sable or Saber?
His name, it's a boy, and his name is Zayba, Zayba.
Mm-hmm.
And he is doing fine. We took him to the vet last week, and they determined that he had a sprained knee and to not let him run for 4 weeks. That lasted 3 days. I'm still trying to keep him sort of controlled, but
It's hard.
It's hard. So, they gave me some basically like puppy ibuprofen, more or less. And so he's not on a full dose of that, but I have been kind of keeping an eye on him. I can tell when he's going hard and needs to slow down and stuff. So, I mean, he needs to exercise it, but he needs to not overdo it either. But he seems fine. The hardest part is kind of trying to slow him down. And the other thing that happened this week is our fence is now done since the hurricane. It took forever. Hurricane Helene came and ripped all our fence down. Well, we got the dog after the hurricane. So the dogs actually never had a fence. So now I can let both dogs in the yard and let them run. Well, he's not supposed to actually be running. So you're trying to balance it all.
Yep. But he's doing good.
But he's doing good. He's
in
doing
pain anymore. You can tell.
Yeah, he's not, and he can jump up on the bed and I am trying to meter like his jumping and stuff. There's certain things I'm trying to make sure he doesn't do too much, but it's tough. It's tough. When's he going to be 6 months old?
The 11th.
Oh, okay.
Ricky Compton said, with the price of groceries, it's almost cheaper eating out, especially for us. It's just me and the wife. Agreed.
And, and some nights we do,
Yep.
especially because our daughter buys us dinner a lot. So,
yep. Then it's very cheap.
Very cheap.
Yeah. She was like, thanks for buying my Dr. Pepper. What I didn't tell her, it was like buy two, get two free. So really, nice. I didn't buy her Dr. Pepper.
Nice. That's like girl logic.
It works.
Yeah, it's fine.
I wouldn't have bought Cokes otherwise, but I did.
Yeah. Well, and we entertain a lot, so.
Yep. Well, that's where they go.
I know. Yeah, her and when her brother and sister-in-law come over.
You mean like our son and
Our
daughter-in-law?
son and daughter-in-law, yeah.
That was weird.
Anyway, yeah.
That was weird.
Yeah. That was weird.
FU says, off-topic question, why does Dylan not have a country accent like Leslie?
Because I'm
a country accent.
I'm not from here. I've only been here 11 years, something like that. I'm from all over.
Mm-hmm. Everybody's like, Dog Dr. Tim, congrats on the fence. It makes all the difference in the world.
Man, it's awesome. Yeah, it's made it a lot easier. Especially
right now because it's freezing cold.
Mm-hmm. And well,
so cold.
I will say the retraining that we're having to do though, because with him especially, he doesn't know going out by himself. Like we've gone out there with him.
Yeah.
Ever since he's tiny-ish. Because he was never actually tiny, but so he doesn't know like, oh, I can just go out by myself.
Oh, he does at 4:00 in the morning.
Oh yeah, because you don't go out there with him.
Heck no.
No, but you have to like go out there with him sometimes and be like, go off the deck, like get off the deck and go. Otherwise, he'll just like go out to the edge of the deck and come back, and you're like, no, I know you have to go to the bathroom. And get him off the deck, and then he's fine. Then he'll run around and do what he needs to do and come back. But he's still learning that, oh, I can actually just go out here and run around and be a dog. Because he's never done it.
And he doesn't like outside.
He is not an outside dog.
Run outside, pee, let me back in the house.
Yeah. Even when it's kind of nice out, it's been sunnier during the day and stuff. He's just like, no, I'm not an outside dog. Which is hilarious. Like big bad hunting dog. And he's
with all his energy too. And he's like, nope, let me back in the house.
Let me back in the house.
F. Stadio says, growing up, we had a Wi-Fi system in the living room to listen to music. Nowadays, I listen to music from my PC and monitor speakers. What do you think I'm missing not having a Wi-Fi system anymore?
Oh, like a hi-fi system?
Oh, Wi-Fi?
That's probably something I don't want to say I will never, but I will do my best to never give up. I love having a proper proper sound system. And it's something that I've always had for many, many years. And I mean decades. I've always had it ever since I was young. And I don't know, music is just too important to me. So, but that being said, even my headphones are good. You know, like I have really good headphones. So if I'm going to listen to music in my headphones, it's still going to be good. I really care about that. Even my new car has Bang & Olufsen. So, you know, it's real good. Have you listened to music in there? Like really?
No, I haven't even driven it except for the test drive.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I haven't driven it by myself at all.
Oh man. That Bang & Olufsen system is really good.
Nope. I haven't.
It's really good.
Hi-fi, yeah. Doc, cold is relative. I understand. It's not a competition, but it is cold to me.
Yes, it is cold.
There's a reason I don't live in Canada.
Yes.
I'm quite positive of that.
So Brianna texted me earlier.
Yep.
And she said she was having the girls. So our daughter manages a restaurant. And so it's been really slow the last couple nights because it's been cold. So she's like, I'm having the girls do like a lot of deep cleaning since we have time. And she said that she sent the girls outside to wipe all the tables down and their metal tables. And it was freezing as they were wiping it.
Aw, that's mean. Jay Valente says, to shut my brain down at the end of the day to go to sleep, I'll work out details of a complicated jig, tool, or piece of shop furniture that I'm needing to build. There's always something I can train my brain on. Wow. See, I'm trying to stop thinking about work stuff.
That's the thing. That's my problem. I have to stop. That's why I sharpen knives but all my knives are so sharp now. I don't even.
Box Guitars Rock said, we were going to put in invisible fencing, but our neighbors wouldn't agree to wear the collars.
That's hilarious. Yeah. And in fact, our dogs actually did very well not having the fence. It's funny because they would walk down the fence line because obviously you could see where the fence used to be. And they would walk down the fence line and they wouldn't go over it. Most of the time they did pretty good. But other dogs coming into the yard, chickens, we have neighbors a couple houses over who have chickens coming into our yard, and we have 2 hunting dogs. So that doesn't go well. Yeah, so stuff coming into our yard is probably worse than them getting out.
Mm-hmm.
Neither of the dogs really want to be away from us enough for me to really worry about them like taking off.
Mm-mm.
But you still don't want to leave them unattended, and I don't want anybody else in my yard.
Mm-hmm. Curtis Chavez says, when you shop for groceries, do you use a list or do you shoot from the hip?
Well, we use like an app now, so that means that a list is built in a lot of times, right? Like based on purchase history and...
Yeah, so really you're building but it is nice to buy that way because I could also control the spending.
Mm-hmm.
You know, if I'm like, well, I don't really need this, like I could take stuff out of the cart and like I can actually control. I don't, but I could.
And honestly, I mean, I've done it because I know that they can come to the house anytime.
Right.
Like that. Well, I don't need this right now. I actually don't need this for 3 or 4 more days. So why am I buying it right now?
Yeah.
So I feel like that does help.
Yeah. No,
if we're having company next weekend.
We have some regular things that we always have on hand and buy.
Tortilla chips.
But
salsa.
I'm not a good list maker. And I guess when there's something I know I'm going to forget, I just go ahead and put it in the app. So it's there when I actually go to place an order. I'm like, oh yeah, I need that.
Mm-hmm. What really sucks is when you're like want to make something and you shop for everything and then they're out of one thing. And so you spent all this money on all these ingredients, except they sometimes kind of suck at replacing
Oh, I don't let them.
one ingredient for something else. And so then you have everything but one thing that you were going to use to make dinner with that night. So that happens every once in a while, and that kind of sucks. Not that often, though, really.
Yeah, and if you were in the store yourself, you
would be able
wouldn't
to
have bought
compensate
those
for it.
things.
Yeah. Yeah, you'd be able to find your own replacement more easily, or you would have said, okay, well, I'm going to make a different meal instead and changed it up. So there are gives and takes to it. But overall, I will say, I was looking at it today because we've had our car for a week, and we've put less than 200 miles on it in a week, which is crazy because normally we're like drive everywhere all the time.
But it's so cold. I don't want to go anywhere.
I know, but like heated seats and massaging seats, I have no problem with that.
I still don't have anywhere to go.
I know, but what I'm saying is if we had to grocery shop 3 times and go to Costco and
yeah, true.
you know, that's a bunch more miles because we live all the way on the opposite side of town of Costco, like for example. So being able to use those apps, to me, at whatever depreciation of mileage is, to me, it's worth it. I want to spend my miles driving fun stuff, not grocery shopping. Although I don't care. Anytime I drive is fun.
T. Jose said, I'm good at getting distracted at the store and going home with everything but what I set out to get.
Well, yeah, that's the problem is you're like, if you don't make a list or you don't have a plan, and then you're just like, okay, well, I'm just going to walk up and down to all the aisles and make sure I don't forget anything. And then
but the apps are getting so good. They do the same thing.
Oh,
Like
really?
you go to check out and it's like, hey, here's what you usually buy. Do you need any of these things? Like,
yeah, I've noticed that actually.
yeah. They're figuring out how to upsell without you seeing the end cap at the grocery store.
Mm-hmm.
And they also have like coupons and various things to like highlight things as you're looking.
I've noticed that too.
Let's see. I missed something. Dom D said, I failed at not buying pens this year. I found a vintage MB 146 from a local guy and bought it. It arrives tomorrow. Shaking my head.
Nice.
Still haven't bought a guitar this year though.
Nice. I would love 146. I just got a 149 a couple weeks ago, and it is probably, it's the same thing with the guitar thing, right? Like every one of your nice pens could be your favorite for a different reason, but good grief, I love this thing. It's so good. I've been writing with it probably more than just about anything. And I paid less for it than I paid for my Homo sapiens. So, because it's actually a vintage pen. It's like a 70s. But I ordered 2 pens. Well, we had some space bucks with Atlas. So
That's what they're called?
No, but that's what I'm calling them.
Oh, that's weird.
So I bought 2 pens that I'm not saying what they are because we're going to do an unboxing on tomorrow when they come. I think they're coming tomorrow.
On tomorrow.
Yeah.
Curtis Chavez says, ooh, what app do you use to shop with? Is it a recipe app that also makes a shopping list? No, that would be amazing. But
That would be amazing.
No, I'm not that creative. It is. I just use the actual
Typically
store
Instacart.
app. Well, I use store apps because
Oh, yeah. You're better at each of the. I cheat because I don't care about having all those apps. So I'm like,
I do because Instacart doesn't do in-store prices for most of the things. And I buy most of the groceries. So I can't afford to overpay for everything.
yeah, it's true.
So you have fun with that. But
I didn't know that. I didn't know that about
that's why there's an in-store prices button and you can filter the stores that do in-store prices.
Oh.
And Kroger is not one of them.
I shouldn't say that though, because typically what I buy is Home Depot, Best Buy, Home Depot and Best Buy. And I use their actual apps.
Mm-hmm. Yep. Yeah. So nothing fancy, just the actual store apps.
Learned a thing. I did not know that.
Vox Guitars Rock said, I went to Bass Pro 3 times in the last 2 weeks to buy my fishing license. Guess what? I've forgotten to buy all 3 times.
Your fishing license? That's amazing.
Are you buying fishing gear and still forgetting the fishing license?
That is awesome.
T. Jose said, sometimes I forget that my phone is a computer, not just a crossword game that texts.
Yeah.
Sometimes I forget my phone is a phone. I'm like, why is this thing ringing?
I know. I never talk on the phone anymore, except with Matt.
Doc Silton said, start with what proteins look best at the store. Then I plan my meals around that and shop according to the rest of the ingredients, shooting from the hip always. That's a smart plan.
Yeah, I get that.
Sweet. Evstathio says, don't go to Costco without a list. I love going to Costco without a list because unless it's like food, you don't know what Costco's going to have.
Yep.
And as soon as you like something at Costco, you'll never find it again.
That's true. The problem with Costco is every small item is $19.99 or $17.99, so that adds up pretty quick. And every large item is like $89.99. So like it adds up quick when you go there.
Yep.
That's okay.
I haven't been in a long time, actually. And they will deliver.
Oh, they will?
Yeah, they've delivered a prescription for me before.
Oh, yeah, I remember that.
But I didn't like, I feel like I bought fruit or something. Maybe that was when your sister was here and the fruit was not good. Like I will never buy mushrooms.
Brianna has ordered liquor and had it delivered.
That's true. Yeah. I haven't done that yet.
You have to go to the door with an ID, but no big deal.
Didn't have to go to the liquor store.
Nope. Yeah.
No, I haven't done that.
That's cool.
Let's see. Dog Dr. Tim said, you guys should share some of your favorite recipes to help us other vores learn more about vegan. I'm interested. I love some veggies.
I used to cook live on Facebook all the time. I don't do it a whole lot anymore. Well, actually, I haven't done it in a long time.
I mean, y'all are assuming that we eat healthy.
That's true.
That's a big assumption.
Yeah, that's a big assumption.
Jose is like, I support the idea. I would love to learn to eat more greens other ways besides them with lemon and salt.
What are greens?
He is not a vegetable person, y'all. Air fryer has made all the difference.
Yes.
Air fryer for the win.
Yep.
Doc Siltonen says, have you seen the Fat Files episode on Costco? I don't even know what Fat Files is, so I'm going to go with no.
Sounds either like very interesting or that I don't want to watch it.
Dom
I
D
don't want to find out anything.
It seems like most people hate talking on the phone outside of work. I don't want to talk on the phone for work either. It's so bad that if I see a friend is calling me, I automatically assume something is wrong. Yep.
Yeah.
I will ignore you. Like I will watch my phone ring. Sometimes. Sometimes
it depends who it is, but yeah.
You answer the phone. You talk on the phone. Way more than me.
Yeah. But I am like, if you can text me and get it over with, I would rather do that. Unless it's, if it's my family or something, if it's my dad or my brother or something, it's different. But I don't even talk to them that much, so.
Yeah, F. Stathio says, we don't have a Costco where I live now. We have a Sam's Club. It's definitely not the same. I miss going by the wine section, even though my wallet hated it. Yeah, we went to Sam's. I felt like I saw a lot of people talking about Sam's, and the membership is super cheap. Mm-hmm. So I was like, let's just go through there and see, like, do we need a Sam's Club membership? And I was like, what was it? We saw like this huge thing of
it was like a whole
mayonnaise.
It was a whole aisle of mayonnaise.
No.
And I'm like, this is not my house.
Nope. Yeah, I didn't see. I think I saw one thing that I might have bought in the whole store.
Yeah, I wasn't into it either.
And I was like, this isn't for us.
Our Costco has an attached liquor store
Yep.
that you don't need a Costco card for.
Yep.
It's pretty awesome. And it's on the same street as Guitar Center and Bass Pro Shops. So it kind of is
Yep.
a one-stop deal.
Yep. Bucks Guitars Rock said, last time my phone rang, I was playing Candy Crush and it scared me and I almost dropped the phone.
That is pretty
Dom D. The only person outside of work who regularly calls me is my dad.
Yeah, that's. And Matt Flaherty from Texas Toast Guitars. He's been calling
Did
me.
you get a daily call today?
I did.
Oh, nice. Yeah, he's calling you every day.
Yeah.
Probably for the whole month of January.
Probably the whole, yeah. We got a lot going, so.
What are you leaving like 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Is it 2 weeks?
Mm-hmm.
Are you ready?
I mean, I shipped all the parts. I'm ready
Shipped all your parts to them.
to them.
Less than 2 weeks.
I'm actually,
Are you going to do a live on that Thursday?
I don't know what we're doing because we're there. So I don't know.
And it'll be early.
It'll be early. I don't know. It's going to be a tough one to do. We'll have to see. And it also depends on what else is going on. Because I'm sure we're going to get invited to other stuff. And
Yeah, I mean, it'll be like 5 o'clock.
Stu Mac's doing a thing. And
Yeah. You should just say
yeah. Stu Mac is supposed to invite us to something. And there's a whole bunch of stuff. So I don't know. We'll have to see. Plus, I've got a bunch of people that know that I'm going to be out there that I have not totally made contact with that I'm probably going to try to see too. So it's going to be a whole thing.
If Theo says, Dylan, the Costco Plaza where you live sounds so dangerous. Yeah.
Oh, it is. Yeah. Yep. It's,
You can buy some guitar strings, buy some ammo, pick up some Costco, stop by the range, and then.
oh yeah. Cause there's a gun range right there too. You're pulling, it's an outdoor range. And when you're getting out of your car to go into Costco, it's like, sounds like World War II is happening.
Yep.
Like right on the other side of the highway. I forgot about that. Yep.
Awesome.
Awesome.
I'm tired.
Is that about it?
Yep. They're eating hot dog combos at Costco. Yeah, we're not doing that.
Yeah. No.
I don't know whatever happened to the second part of the hot dog question, but maybe they'll ask
That's all
next week.
Yeah. Thanks for hanging out, everybody. I guess we will see you later.